This is KGW News at Sunrise.
We're working full-time, and then we're working overtime, and then we're working double time.
Thousands of Kaiser healthcare workers are set to go on strike this week, while some hit the picket lines over the weekend. That story is coming up in one of this morning's top local stories.
And soon, Grant High School sports teams may be able to use their home field again. The turf's been a safety issue, but this morning, talks are underway to get the kids back where they belong.
And geez, we never really got to know you, did we? Drew Holiday.
Bye-bye.
Traded to the Blazers last week, already on his way to Boston. So we're going to have the latest on the Blazers' preseason upheaval coming up in just a few minutes.
Good Monday morning. Rod and Christine both off today, but Chris McGinnis, you're doing double duty for Rod.
I got two clickers, one
there
for both.
You go.
One
Traffic and weather.
And we do have some rain to talk about, so let's get you out the door right now. We are dry for starters. Our early Monday morning commute is dry. Here's the live look from our Wells Fargo sky camera. Cloud cover moving in. It's 54 and cloudy last check at PDX. Elsewhere across the region, temperatures in the upper 40s in Hillsborough, Sherwood, and Tigard. Good morning. You're checking in with 49. It's 49 in Salem and Dallas right now. One of the cooler spots on the map at 46. All right, the plan for today, cloud cover moving in. Rain now impacting the I-5 corridor as you get up towards Lake Chehalis and Seattle, right? That rain will be pressing south and eastward. So we probably eke out a dry Monday morning commute, but by the tail end of the drive, it's going to start to get wet, and certainly we're rainy late morning into lunchtime and probably rainy for the drive home from school as well, work and school. Temperatures in the upper 50s this afternoon. All right, one traffic alert to tell you about. We take you to the east side. I-205 northbound, just north of Sunnyside. Looks like we've got a wreck on the left-hand side there. The left lane is blocked. I'll show you where that is on the traffic map. We'll zoom in. That's our first traffic trouble spot of the morning. Obviously, guys, light volume out there, so we're getting around it just fine. No other major issues on the roads just yet.
Thank you for the update. Well, later this morning, pharmacy workers at 4 Kaiser Permanente locations will hit the picket lines again. They went on strike yesterday and say their walkout will last 3 weeks. Devin Haskins is live outside the Kaiser building in Northeast Portland. Devin, this is separate from the 3-day strike planned later this week.
Correct. It's two different unions. This one just involves the pharmacy workers represented by one of the unions that would have joined that coalition. We'll get to more on that 3-day strike in just a minute. But the 400 pharmacy workers here are on strike for what they call unfair labor practices. UCFW Local 555 that represents the pharmacy workers says they broke away from that 3-day strike because they felt they could better meet the bargaining needs of their members. During months-long negotiations between the union and Kaiser Permanente, the union says they've asked for first-year wage increases, increased wage differentials for nights and weekends, and increased staffing. They've also accused Kaiser Permanente of committing unfair labor practices.
Workers just want what's theirs. They want to be treated fairly. They want to get good pay, quality benefits. Unfair labor practice strikes that we have right now, we have to have these strikes in order to have our grievances dealt with, and we can move forward to the bargaining table.
In a statement to KGW, a spokesperson from Kaiser Permanente called the strike, quote, premature and unwarranted, and said the union was unwilling to negotiate. The statement also said they've got a solid offer on the table that addresses their economic and staffing concerns. So during the strike, Kaiser said they have plans in place so patients can still access their pharmacy services. The strike ends on October 21st. As far as the larger strike with healthcare workers and service workers, that starts Wednesday, lasts through Friday, and impacts about 4,000 Kaiser Permanente workers. Back to you.
All right, Devin Haskins reporting live for us. Of course, we'll have more on the story as Sunrise continues, but we want to get to one of our other top local stories right here. School is canceled today for some students in the Tigard-Tualatin School District after bomb threats connected to a viral video prompted a middle school to shut down at the end of last week. So back on Friday, students and staff at Hazelbrook Middle School were ordered to leave campus because of threats connected to a video of one student at the school attacking another. That video went viral, and some people online made claims without evidence that the alleged attacker identifies as transgender. Administrators say multiple threats over several days ended with those bomb threats on Friday, not only to the school, but also district officials' homes. Local law enforcement and the FBI are investigating these threats. The district says the student who allegedly attacked the other has been arrested and is facing both school and criminal consequences.
Finally, a possible solution allowing sports teams at Portland's Grant High School to play at Grant Bowl. The city owns the track and field and says the turf's not safe. We have been following this situation for months, and Thomas Schultz is here this morning with an update.
Negotiations are happening between Portland Public Schools and the Portland Parks Department to turn the Grant Bowl over to the school district. Parents say the change can't come soon enough.
I'm really optimistic that they're going to get a lease signed within the next 2 weeks.
Just before the start of the school year, students and families at Grant High learned sports teams wouldn't be allowed to play at the Grant Bowl. The turf field was closed to athletes for safety reasons, though community members could still use it.
They can't practice and they can't do the stuff they like to do on the field until this whole thing gets situated.
So players were bused across town for home games, leaving school early.
The way the school works, they're often missing the exact same class.
Kim McGair's daughter is on the soccer team and was frequently missing a key class.
She has an F in English. She's a 4.0 student, and she has an F in English because she misses English every single time because they're on a block schedule.
Soon, a solution could be reached. Portland Public Schools sent KGW their recent proposal to the Parks Department, which would give the district a 20-year lease on Grant Bowl. PPS could also refurbish the track and field and make other improvements, like adding lights, and they would pay for the upgrades. Portland Public would also let people continue to use Grant Bowl unless sports teams needed access. The Parks Department declined to comment since there isn't an agreement yet. Still, McGair has had discussions with the district and city and says there's just one snag.
I believe there's only one sticking point between the two of them, and that is who is going to be responsible for permitting the bowl and who gets the revenue from permitting the bowl.
Since 2014, Portland Parks has received over $300,000 in reservation fees at Grant Bowl.
Parks wants to permit it and keep some of the revenue. PPS wants to permit it and keep all the revenue.
And while money may be the holdup, it's not a ton we're talking about here. Permitting fees come out to $30,000 a year. And McGair says Grant High administrators are hopeful this will be resolved soon, and the field will be safe to use by late February. Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
All right, one more sports story here before we get to Chris's 7-day forecast. We're talking about All-Star guard Drew Holiday, who never unpacked his bags before the Blazers traded him away to the Boston Celtics. So news of this trade came down over the weekend. The Blazers landed Holiday as part of last week's 3-team trade that sent Damian Lillard to Milwaukee. Holiday came from the Bucks, but now he's going to Boston in exchange for center Robert Williams III and guard Malcolm Brogdon. The Blazers also got a first-round pick in next year's draft from the Celtics, as well as a first-round pick in 2029. But we're not done with all this news, because now the NBA insiders are saying that the Blazers will likely deal Brogdon at some point.
I can't keep all of it straight. No, but this was huge talk with the people I know, the sports fans in my life. They love what the Blazers have done with it.
They've collected a lot of parts, players and picks, because of that Damian Lillard trade. So, yeah, I think they are headed in a positive direction. Yes. But those draft picks have to work out at the same time.
Yeah, fair enough. But I'm willing to roll the dice, take the chance.
We'll see what happens.
Optimistic.
Optimistic. Yeah. Hey, a little rain today, and then an amazing 7-day forecast that's going to remind you that October can sometimes feel summer-like. Let's get to it. All right, here's the satellite radar loop over the last little while. Clouds quickly moving in. It is raining right now across portions of southwest Washington. We'll zoom in a little bit on radar. We've got a little bit of rain starting to encroach on the Longview area, excuse me, Cowlitz County, and then heading up the I-5 corridor towards Chehalis. None of this is terribly heavy, and it's certainly not a solid, steady rain yet, but I think there will be a couple hour period here where the rain is generally steady here, and Futurecast begins to drive that rain right up to the I-5 corridor by or before 8 o'clock. So good chance that most of our morning commute is dry here in Portland, but by the tail end, we're going to start to get a little wet, and then we are on and off wet likely for the remainder of the day. That's what Futurecast shows us. That front presses into eastern Oregon by late this afternoon, so Pendleton and eventually afterwards Baker City and Ontario. You folks will see some rain. It's a quick mover, and it will be out of here overnight tonight. We'll probably start Tuesday with clouds, and then we'll finish the day tomorrow with sunshine, and the remainder of the week is sunny and progressively warmer. It is an awesome looking 7-day forecast. Of course, the rain's always a good thing this time of the year. We're going to get a little bit of that. Futurecast is a little bullish right now on the rainfall potential here in Portland, but I think if you took these numbers like 0.17 in Kelso, 0.32 in Portland, and that is definitely the high end, but modeling does suggest that there will be some pockets of heavier rain. Certainly the heaviest rain will be at the coast and in the Coast Range and in the Cascade foothills. Snow levels today, by the way, up at about 8,000 feet or so. 54 last check at PDX. Futurecast shows temperatures inching into the upper 50s at lunchtime. Our modeling likes Portland hitting 60. I don't know about that. That seems a bit warm given the early arrival of the clouds and the rain, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. We will be warmer tomorrow and much warmer at the end of the week, which brings me to this graphic. Do you remember how amazingly warm last October was? 12 80-degree days in the month of October. Just keep this in perspective. The 30-year average for the number of 80-degree days in October is 1. And for the period of record at PDX, 60% of them we haven't hit 80. All right, keep that in your cap. We've got 3 80-degree days coming our way, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with offshore winds and sunshine coming our way towards the end of the week. So that looks fabulous, but we've got some rain to get through today with a high of 58.